This is the Beyond the Dojo podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Jeremiah.
And, I forgot to check what episode we're on. Hold on, I forgot.
25?
No, I actually think we're further along than that. Hold on a minute. Oh, where am I? See, now I'm scrolling through my computer so I can accurately tell you what episode we're on, even though you probably already know. Oh, you're right, 25.
Yeah, that's right. I was right. Wow.
Yes, you're
Imagine
right.
that. If you'd have trusted my answer.
Okay,
You'd have saved 30 seconds of your life.
Okay, well, we're on episode 25.
Yep. And it's going to be a whole lot of nothing.
Maybe it will be a whole lot of something. Maybe we will just create this conversation that just blossoms into something that's mind-blowing and life-changing. Like a new I almost just said philosophy. Philosophy. You're rubbing off on me, dear.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up.
Philosophy.
Don't get your hopes up.
Well, now that we're philosophers...
We can't even speak the right terms.
We can't even talk right. Okay, so random thought. So something that happened this week. So obviously we opened the dojo this week and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But random thought. So it's funny to be around people from different dojo backgrounds and to see like how they discuss their own karate and how they discuss other people's karate. Mm-hmm. And like I know that like you and I have this point of view like, oh man, that kind of sucked. I need to make that better. Like whatever. Like we're getting better about seeing our own faults and not in a way that like we're self-deprecating, but we want to get better. So we accept that we have faults and we admit that and we laugh it off and we keep moving forward. Well, Rob, one of our Shodans this week, he's trained with us for a while. So to see this rub off on him was really funny. He's basically said something. Oh, you asked a question. Jeremiah was teaching, and he asked something about, like, we were doing kata slowly, and you asked what we thought about the way we performed that, and Rob was like, well, that sucked. I was like, oh, no. Because we had a bunch of visitors in the dojo, but anyway.
Yeah. I thought you were going to take that conversation totally the other way.
No. I didn't. I wasn't embarrassed. I was just like shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're speaking through his mouth. Not that I thought that he sucked, but like we do that, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. I totally thought it was because we have a traditional karate school, but we don't practice a lot of traditions.
Yeah.
We have really good dojo etiquette. Everybody knows how to act around other people. Mm-hmm. But the traditions of bowing to the senseis when they walk on the floor, that kind of hierarchy kind of thing, we don't really practice or participate in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
We practice more of the etiquette part where, if it's a higher rank, you let them line up to your right. There's this whole bowing thing that people pick up and you're respectful, and that's how you kind of know, it's our etiquette. It's good etiquette. Mm-hmm. We had visitors, and I'm pretty sure they came from a more traditional karate dojo than ours, and I had found myself like explaining, like mansplaining myself. This is not we don't. I said, yeah, we're very lax on the tradition around here. It's really informal, and I think it kind of threw some people off a little bit. Yeah, they're used to that strict quiet thing, and I'm sitting there talking and making jokes, and we're talking back and forth and everything, and it was a cool thing because I remember saying, I like this to be more like a think tank. Yeah, I want conversation. I want y'all to dive into this with us. Yeah,
well, we kind of thrive in that type of teaching environment anyway. We like that inquisitive, like, hey, let's throw things back and forth, and I mean, and sometimes we even do that with our lower ranked students just to draw more out of them.
See what they're looking at. Yeah, it's a good measuring, a good scale just when you throw it at younger students to see where they're at. Yeah. What are they doing it just for a workout? Or are they doing it because they really like it? Or maybe they enjoy the movement aspect of it, So. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what our culture looks like in our dojo right now. We make our students just admit that they suck all the time, and then we don't line up properly.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's relaxed. We're very relaxed people, so I think the dojo itself is overall a very relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah, but we take a relaxed approach in that aspect because we're so intense in the other aspect, like the technical approach that we have with all of our students, even from a young age. Like, not to pat our own back, but kinda, like we're very intense in that, and we have pretty high expectations. So it makes sense to be a little bit more lax in like the
in between
the structure, you know, whatever. Like just depending on the group of students.
That's true, because we do demand a lot from our students.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not how, oh, Billy, please help us. No, we're like, you do it, or you're gonna hear about it for the rest of class.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyhow, today's podcast is kind of a little bit of a reflection. So this week we opened up our dojo after quarantine.
Woo!
Yes, and well, you guys, we want to talk about the week first.
I would say, I don't know when you go with that, so I'm gonna just say this. This pleasantly surprised and disappointed at the same time.
Yeah. Why surprised?
I was surprised that so many advanced students and older students showed up. I thought they would be the ones hit hardest. Mm-hmm. And I'm disappointed at the same time because not a lot of the kids showed up. I thought a lot more kids would show up.
Yeah.
But still, it's... Maybe the parents were waiting for what the president said this week, and that was, and the governor said this week, and that was, the youth activities should be opened back up, camps and stuff like that. Maybe that's the thing they were waiting to hear, and hopefully that changes things for next week.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. To be honest, like I kind of feel like some of them are like, oh, okay, let's gradually get our mind right to get back into the swing of things. And they may have also been waiting for us to make sure that we were like, you know, if we need to keep things clean or like have certain rules in place, they may have been wanting us to take some time to do that. Who knows? I think it has more to do with the structure and like the not, you know, they're not used to this schedule anymore. So now they're having to go out of their way to bring their kid back to karate when they were able to do it online all this time. So it's kind of hard to get back into the swing of things. So what he's talking about is, you know, we opened back up this week, and like first day was Monday. Our 4 and 5 year olds class had 2 kids. Our 6 to 8 year olds class that we moved to Mondays had 2 kids.
3.
2 kids in the 6 to 8 because it was Trinity and
Trinity
and Wyatt. So we had 2 kids, and then our black belt class on Monday night had 5 people in it. Yeah. And we've never had 5 people in our black belt class since we moved it back to the Bushnell Dojo. So that was shocking and exciting. One of our students, Raylan, who just made her black belt, I think she was just really bored, so she came to the dojo. And then Tuesday, you know, the homeschoolers class was normal, and in the afternoon it was like 1 student in the first class, 3 students in the third class, second class, 1 student in the third class, and then the advanced class had like 4 people in it, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Then Thursday, well, Wednesday was a little bit more than Monday, and then Thursday was no students in the first class, 3 students in the second class, no students in the third class, but then our advanced class had like 12 people in it.
Yeah.
We had one guy, our friend Mark from Canada, chiming in online. We had 3 guys travel in to come train with us, and then plus our regular black belts and brown belts. Yep. I mean, it was probably the most packed advanced class we've ever had.
Oh, it was good times. That's for sure.
And like there was only so much we could do because like we can't have physical contact.
No partner work or anything like that. So
that really sucked.
Yeah, it was a typical JKA class, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a typical JKA class because that's where we had kind of that think tank because you were asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't mean by the typical JKA class in sense of no speak, just do. I'm talking like it was Kihon and Kata.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, you know. And a lot of JK classes are that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know that's unfortunate because we like whenever people come in that we do a little bit of hands-on stuff, not to be macho and show people where their place is, but we like to be able to like learn new ideas and get feedback from other people, and sometimes people have other ideas on how to do combat. So.
It's the 3rd level of learning.
Yeah. Yeah, so that kind of stunk, but man, it was really cool to have that many people who were like supportive and there, and
extremely grateful for that opportunity. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like, well, the cool thing for us, which we've been talking about this whole time, is like we want to continue to build and grow our intermediate and advanced student base so that we have something to build off of so that we're able to continue this dojo for a long time, and that's really important. We have to have new students, but we also want to make sure that foundation of knowledgeable karateka is there so that we're able to even do that. So this week was really cool. It was almost like the new year all over again, and it was and it was a good new year week as far as that goes.
I agree with you there.
And I did miss the kids, but it was a fun experience to have all them here.
Yeah, just unique.
Yeah.
Unique. Grateful that we live in such a rural area that and such a state that sees it necessary to open back up.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I could have taught online.
Yeah.
I was really that. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it did get very frustrating.
Because we're in the world in a rural area and the internet's not that great and coverages ain't that great. It's not like when you're in an urban area where it's like guaranteed to work. This is like freeze frame videos and all kinds of craziness. So that's frustrating. But
I was over fighting that.
Yeah, so I'm so happy to be back on the floor.
Yeah,
it's worth it to me.
Yeah. So we wanted to spend the second part of this podcast, and maybe one day some of our students will listen to this, they may not. But honestly, as we wanted to give a huge, huge thank you to the people in our community. Mm-hmm. So not just the ones that showed up for class this week, the parents of some of our kids, the people who are members of our dojo, my clients. Thank
you for the support. Without y'all, obviously this can't continue, and we are grateful. I don't want y'all to think that some people take it for granted, and we're not.
Yeah,
and from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
When we first had to start shutting down, we got a lot of questions from people like checking in on us, making sure we were going to be okay. We had like parents and clients and all this stuff. They're like, "Hey, you guys going to be all right?" And offering to help us out if they had to, but. I mean, it has been unreal to have such a community of people that have literally all gathered behind us and done and given so much. I mean, we have not had a moment.
Did we talk about this last week? But Bushnell has this really, really cool thing about it that people give each other vegetables all the time.
We did not talk about this.
Oh, so I've been in a lot of places. I've been in a lot of rural areas. I've lived in and went to small dojos before, and I've never seen, excuse me, the amount of vegetables and produce go through this dojo. I mean, it's like every other day you have a bag of squash or potatoes or corn or something. Last year we got loquats, right?
Yeah.
We got loquats, and we had enough to make like 8 jars of
I made marmalade
out of it. I mean...
So it's
a really cool thing to experience. It's like Americana, in the modern age, and it's cool.
So this never occurred to me, but Jeremiah pointed it out to a parent the other day that we just keep getting gifts of food, and like it never occurred to me that that's not normal. But we always get gifts of food from people. So sometimes it's like it's some kind of a thing from their garden or something they bought. If they bought extra, we'll get like a box of Lucky Charms. We'll get like cool, trail mix. I mean, and it's different. It's not the same person every time. It's always different stuff. But people will bring us food like all the time, and so and we're never hungry.
People's gardens come in and they do their hand. We get all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, the way that I grew up,
honey before.
We've been given honey. The way I grew up is like we always my mom always made tons of food. Maybe it's a Southern thing. We always made tons of food and we always shared it. So if we had a lot more than we needed, some of our family lived next door. We would send it over to her house and then they would have more. So like that's the kind of culture. So when people give gifts of food, to me that's like normal. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not normal.
Yeah, I didn't know that it wasn't normal, but
it's really cool. I mean, to still live in an agricultural area. And to still be connected to the land like that, even though our profession is not that at all. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So. But, between gifts of food and everyone, still paying their dues and, really...
so grateful, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people who didn't even take advantage of the online training stuff, people just said, you know what, I'm just going to pay you as normal. And I know that a lot of dojos and businesses really suffered through this time, and it's not something that we take lightly at all. A lot of places had to shut down, and it's heartbreaking because you put so much into it, and I couldn't imagine if we had gone through that, and especially right now. So we take it with humility, knowing that we have people who care about us that much and wanted to see, they believe in what we're doing. And we can see that they believe in what we're doing, and they express that. So basically, thank you guys, those of you who were supportive of us during this time, because, I mean, we not even for a moment were we afraid of getting through this. I mean, we literally had that much support from this small community. So, yeah. It was really incredible.
Forever grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and taught, like, I learned so much, and there was a lot of advantages and obviously some many disadvantages from this time, but to be able to see how strong these people, like, how much people believe in what we're doing, that was really cool.
It reaffirms what we're trying to do, and that's build a community over building a business.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that the community is there, and if we do it right, it'll take care of us and take care of everything. I mean, it's just, if you give enough and I always believe if you want respect, you give respect, right?
Okay.
So if you just give into the community and you put that as a priority, it tends to kind of cultivate itself. Yeah. And we're not saying that we built a community for that purpose. We built the community so that we can have a fellowship. You know what I mean? Doing something we love. Yeah. I've been to some dojos that are cold. Yeah. Real cold, man, and I can't stand it.
You know what was funny is Sam. So our friend Sam came down on Thursday to train with us, and he was talking about a few different things, and he mentioned that he was watching. I was sending him some of the, like, either the training snippets that we had filmed or the live training videos that we recorded. I uploaded them to YouTube privately, and I would send him those. And he said that to watch us at the end and to see how we were interacting with our students, even though their screens weren't on, it was only our screen, but we knew who was there, and we were giving them specific instruction at the end of the workouts. He said that to him, that showed him how much we care about our kids. So for me, that was like, because, like, we do really care about these students, all of them, regardless of how much of turds they are.
Snatch them up and twist them and
smack them upside the head, but still, we do love them. Yeah. So it was cool for somebody else to see. Yeah, indeed.
No, that's a joke. Please don't take that seriously.
And moving on. So what you working on?
God. It's working on switching the Fudodachi still. Okay. Honestly, I've been obsessed with trying to my hikite and getting that backside of my body engaged more. Mm-hmm. I have good coordination, good separation where I don't have to always pull my hand to hikite when I punch. I could leave it hang down and use the other hand to punch and not feel like I have to do that. Yeah. But that being said, I think it kind of took away and it led to me having a lazy.
Yeah, so for the sake of basics, you got to put it back in.
Yeah, so it's one of those deals where I'm trying to balance my karate, my form. Yeah. And I got to go beyond shape, so it has to feel same kind of tension both sides. Yeah. Same kind of range. Yeah. All that. So I've been focusing on that and just kind of trying to get that to hit every time. Yeah. And then normal workout stuff. Yeah. So I've been getting stronger in my legs. I could tell my side snap kicks, I could actually go up higher and extend out further before I have to kind of like throw that little oomph to the end there. Okay. But I could do it decently slow. Yeah. So that's good. Mm-hmm. And once I get strong enough to do that, normally the kick will start, the technical part of it, the aspect of it will come together. So.
Yeah. Nice.
How about you?
All right. So, last Sunday, Jeremiah and I had an argument about the end of Sochin when you step at 45-degree angles and do
argument,
inside
she
block.
says, I said, you're doing the wrong step. She says, no, I'm not.
That's an argument.
That was it. Really. I kept on saying you're doing it wrong. She continued to explain to me.
I have to explain now to the people. I have to tell it to the people what I'm thinking. Right. Apparently nobody else thinks this way, but I have always trained this way. Okay. So, if you're in a stance that's supposed to be a shoulder width wide, and you take that stance, but you're turning at a 45-degree angle in that stance, your front foot, in my mind, wouldn't actually be at a 45-degree angle. It would be like more than that or less than that or whatever. I don't know how to explain this without a visual. All right, so if you're on a 90-degree line...
She doesn't know how to explain it without sounding stupid.
Be quiet, okay? This makes sense in my head. If you're in a stance that's in a line, like a back stance or a horse stance, and you take that stance and you turn it to 45 degrees, your feet would be at 45 degrees. I thought that if you're in like a front stance or a fudodachi, because it's a shoulder width wide, that your center line would be at 45 degrees, not your feet necessarily, which would mean they wouldn't be, because your center line's at 45 degrees, your feet wouldn't be. Well, come to find out, the shoulder width thing is not always literally a shoulder width, okay? I don't know where I come up with that, okay? But I've been doing it for probably the past 12 years, and now I have to relearn the end of hand nidan and this part in Sochin, and probably a bunch of other things. But I'm just, and probably like Jion.
I mean, anything that has a 45 degree angle, I mean, it's all there.
Well, yeah, I gotta redo all of those because apparently I don't know how to step at an angle. Apparently I don't know how to step at an angle in a straight line stance either because I already got corrected on that. But anyhow, that's what I'm working on now because I don't know what 45 degrees is.
She doesn't know what 45 degrees is.
Someone please tell me that I'm not crazy, that I'm not the only person that thinks this.
She was stepping right angle to where her front foot was.
Well, okay, that one was actually a little off, but I didn't really mean for it to be like exactly. Anyhow, somebody tell me I'm not crazy. There's got to be somebody out there that thought the same thing. I don't even know where I got that from.
Sorry.
But
Did you see everybody look at you when you said that?
No, I only said it to one person.
It was Terry, right?
No, I said it to Sam,
who
also overanalyzes everything. I overanalyze this to the point that it was trash. So anyhow, that probably makes no sense to anyone. But whatever, that's what I'm working on.
God,
I don't know.
I'm not calling you. Ain't God. You ain't supposed to answer that.
Well.
Paralysis through overanalysis.
No, I wasn't paralyzed. I was doing. I just was doing the wrong thing.
Paralyzed in understanding.
I was not paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. Anyhow, okay, that was what I was working on. So anyway, I guess that was the podcast for today.
Yeah. I guess. Whatever.
All right, that was great. Yep. So for real, on the real though, thank you very much to all of our people in our community. You guys are the bestest because without you, we wouldn't be us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was mic drop. All right, bye.
Bye.